This is the guy that was on the show last time, only by voice, and now he's here.
I think it's what he wanted the whole time, because now he's quiet.
He wanted to be on the show. He's like,
Yeah.
I know the most about this politics stuff. You guys really don't know anything.
I also have
He's like,
opinions.
half the time he's the guy in our comments section informing us that we don't know anything and we're wrong.
Yep.
You guys didn't know that, but Casper is a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, look at that face. Come on now.
If you've got a YouTube channel, he's probably telling you on your channel that you don't know anything as well.
He may be a Shiba Inu. He may be an internet troll. I really couldn't tell you.
Can the real question is, can he make me rich on crypto?
Yes. The answer is yes,
Look, he
but he
smiled.
doesn't know
I was
the
going to
answer.
say, he's laughing at that question.
He's laughing. He's laughing about it.
It's like, these guys don't even know. They're such idiots.
Thanks, Casper. Thanks.
And we are live.
Well,
right.
here we are again with these three guys.
Yeah. How's everybody's week?
Well, first of all, we're all trying to talk at the same time.
Yeah, you should probably.
So that's a good start, I
Yeah.
think. At least
Do it
we
all, guys.
At least we have lots to say, I guess. How was everybody's week? Michael Lee,
Yeah.
how was your week?
It was good. It was busy with work and just life in general. But it's been good. How about you guys?
It's been cold.
That's been pretty cold.
I didn't like the cold. I hibernate when it gets this cold.
I feel that.
I was out and about, and I told you guys you couldn't go out there because it wasn't weather for you people.
What do you mean, you people?
So,
You specific little weaklings.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right,
I'll
then.
take that.
It was so cold. I had one pair of gloves, and then when I went to the store and came back home and went out again that day, I was like, I gotta get on another pair of gloves because the original ones aren't cutting it. They're
Man,
not.
he's telling glove stories.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I did renos again, you guys.
Regular
Been
old
busy with my renovations there. As
storyteller
you
over here.
have said, every time you come over to my house, Adam, there's always a new hole in the wall.
There is, and I don't.
There's
question
two
what you're
new
doing
holes
with it.
in the wall since the
noticed.
last time you were here.
And what did you break?
Nothing is broken besides all the gyprock I broke off the wall, I guess.
You don't need that anyways.
Yeah, what does that do?
I got, yeah, exactly.
Just makes the house heavier.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's bad for your fuel economy.
Yeah,
It's
come on now.
my house is lightening up just like my belly.
Well,
You say
not like
lightning
mine.
up?
Lightning up, yeah.
Okay, well, he's been doing some working out. That's what he's telling us.
Oh,
I've lightninged up.
Lightninged up.
this is truly some leak spec happening.
Yep.
He's specking the leak.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, I also did a mile run for the first time in 5 years.
Why on God's
I'm
snowy
tired of
ass earth
hearing
did
that.
you do that?
It's fun. You guys just need to learn how to have fun.
I'm
When
tired for you.
Tired. I am a little tired after
You
that.
said it's fun.
It was fun. I played 8 games of volleyball on Sunday too. Twice as many as we normally play. That was also fun.
I played.
I was
Indiana
old man after
Jones
that.
on Sunday.
Oh, that's
played-
right. You stayed afterwards and played the other teams. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was good.
Wait, you did what?
He said after we
I subbed.
finished
I
and
subbed for other teams there.
Yeah.
It was nice.
You subbed on a team full of girls, didn't you? It was all women.
The guys eventually showed up.
Well, they actually didn't. I actually didn't know they had men on their team.
And then,
Yeah.
Then they told him to think about his life and evicted him from the building.
Ah.
What?
But I didn't notice how, like, a couple of them seemed to know you pretty well when you walked over to the court.
When I played with them at the game before, or the scrimmage game.
I see.
What, the
So
girls?
I introduced myself. Yeah.
We actually, oh, hey, Josh, and I walked up to him and
I was telling them how to
That
play
kind of stuff,
volleyball mostly, so
Telling them.
yeah.
He's informing them that they're doing it.
Well, two
Correctly.
of them could play pretty well. They might sub on my team later, so when we can't get enough girls or Kathy's sick or whatever it is,
this man saying my team like I'm out here too, no?
sometimes I have to usurp all the authority
What do you mean?
and claim it.
sometimes?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to do that.
He is the captain now. Usurping the authority
captain
and the
now.
attention.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, I'm glad that you seem to have made some new friends, which is good. And now we can maybe have them join our team, which would be nice. But leading into that, dating apps.
What about them?
Yeah. What about them?
Well, I have personally been told by a reliable source that our friend Josh here is actually quite terrible at using them. He basically does it all wrong, in spite of everything he might explain. And he just refuses to take any feedback on, how he might be able to improve his success. And then he just complains that they don't work. So it sounds to me like basically just he's the problem, and then it's, other than that, it's pretty easy to just deal with that situation.
Whoa.
What do you think about that?
I mean, some would have you believe that. I recently was told by another friend of mine. They said, "Why don't you date such and such girl at work that's also available or free?" And I was like, "No, she's really not my type of girl. I don't think that would be a good decision at all." And they were like, "Well, maybe you just need to get that type out of your head and blah blah blah." That's what they were telling me. That was their advice to me.
So they said you should just not worry about a type?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Okay.
And then anyways, after I with more detail explained why I don't think it was a good idea, this person says to me, "Oh yeah, also she's very immature, very young, I don't think that's the type of person for you." So, what kind of advice was that they said I should do something, and then when they thought about it longer, they realized actually they were wrong? I mean, I feel like some of these people, they just give advice to hear it, and really they have no idea what they're talking about.
Well, people are always full of advice and ready to tell you how to live your own life, but half the time...
Guilty!
True. Half the time they don't practice what they preach, and they don't really think about what they're telling you. They just say what pops into their head.
Yep, exactly. I know. Yeah. That's how it is. I don't know what to tell you. You asked me about dating apps. I opened up a Tinder account. It's the only one I got open right now. Opened it in the beginning of January because they say the first Sunday of the year is the most busy. So I guess you get the most exposure on to the most women, or vice versa.
Who says that?
Statistics, basically.
Statistics.
Yeah.
Those can be made to say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know what good it is.
The
But
first Sunday, I'm sorry?
the first Sunday of the year.
Interesting.
Yeah. Everybody's done with their Christmas and family stuff, and they're like, I'm ready to start fresh. So
they're going to improve themselves.
That's apparently what they do. I don't know. I made a profile, took some nice new pictures, no selfies and all that stuff. And the profile's just there. I spent a couple of days swiping right on some ladies, and then I move along with my day. I've
Fair enough.
started this new philosophy called what is it called? Disenchant? Not. Is it just basically disconnecting from having any expectations for any of that stuff? Because if you have any expectations, you'll be thoroughly let down. So.
Well,
just don't have any expectations.
I've spoken to some women about this, and they seem to think that you are probably being too picky, and you should just swipe right on everyone, and that will sort of solve your problem.
I feel like that might cause bigger problems.
It can, and it also doesn't have much effect either. I have tried swiping right on possibly anybody that I have possibly even thought would be potential or whatever. It doesn't make much of a difference. The chances of you actually matching and talking with someone as a guy, it's just like, you have no idea what's going to happen. It's totally random.
But why do you think they might see it differently?
Women's that? Women?
Yeah.
Well, the women I've talked to that have been on the apps.
This is so easy, and you're just
No,
you're just doing it wrong.
no. I talked to several women, and they all basically just say when they go on there, they have matches like immediately. As soon as like every second person, if they swipe right on them, they'll match with somebody, and then those guys will most likely talk to them. They may not be interested in them whatsoever, but for women, if you're on there, it's you'll get talked to. If you're a guy on there, probably not.
Yeah. So how many people can you quote swipe right on?
If you pay, I think it's unlimited, but I don't know it's probably 5 or 10.
A day.
A day?
Do you think you have more success if you pay?
Nope.
No?
No, someone just gets rich off your money.
Fair enough.
You just get the rejections or likes faster, mostly.
I see.
Yeah.
I never really understood. I mean, I always thought, I haven't used dating app in like,
They've evolved
years,
a bit
but,
since
like,
we've had to deal with it.
yeah, I always thought that you pay for it, you're going to have a better experience. That's what I always kind of figured. That's what it meant.
Well, you, my friend, have been manipulated by marketing geniuses.
Hey, I haven't paid for nothing. I'm
If
just,
you even think that dating apps
So you stole it.
are designed for you to actually meet people, you are thoroughly incorrect. They are designed for somebody in an office building somewhere to get a fat wallet.
Ah,
I see.
like many things.
Correct.
So we need to design a dating app and then get our wallets all fat
So basically,
From
okay, I'm buying this.
instead of our stomachs fat from.
I mean, if
eating
you guys
these
have
cookies.
some programmers that can help me out, I can get you some good ideas for a better system.
Is that so?
We'll be rich after that.
Why are we sitting around here babbling like idiots? When we
Yeah,
could be
no
doing
kidding.
that.
Get the
Have you had
programmers.
Have you guys had idea the whole time you're not telling us this?
You get the programmers.
Yeah, I got the
You know what?
ideas.
I left them at home.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They're in my other jacket. Other jacket. I'm not even wearing a jacket. But, yeah.
Just have them on speed dial. Excuse me a second.
Just be like, beep, send in the programmers. They'll just parade in for us.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
So, your perspective then is that perhaps men and women have a very different experience on these apps.
I am very controversial. I will tell you that males and females are different.
What?
No.
Yep. And that is life.
I think we just got banned again.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Two
You forgot to
episodes
censor
in.
me.
2 episodes in, we're already going to be
Well, we're
rebanned.
done. Good job, guys. We tried.
This guy's saying people are different. Come on.
Yep.
We had different, I guess, the different experiences. Just getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like me saying that Michael Lee as a black man might have a different experience being black. And you trying to say, no, Josh has the exact same experiences as Michael Lee. Their skin color doesn't actually matter. Like, we might not think so, but they definitely do have different living experiences.
Well, it seems to me that sometimes people have trouble understanding the other side of a situation when they don't experience it. So
Yes,
I think that
very
could be the case here.
That was very, very true.
Actually, I did read up on a study that it doesn't sound good, but it was basically that women have a harder time empathizing with men and their lives than men have with women.
I wonder why that might be.
I'm not going to get into that. I mean, I don't even really care.
Yeah, you probably
I just deal with my own life
double bend.
and move along.
He doesn't care.
Doesn't care, guys.
Well, that's what he said when I asked him to talk about this today. He said, I don't even care. Well, there we go. Doesn't care.
Speaking of not caring, the Liberal Party of Canada leadership.
Yeah, I don't care about them. You're right.
Well,
I knew
actually,
you were
they're
gonna
left.
say that.
That's the problem.
So, who do you guys think might replace Trudeau?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think there's one of two options.
Marconi?
He's one of them.
What's the other one?
Freeland.
They're both terrible.
They're not good options. Neither one's going to win anything.
It's basically one of those situations where you have an interim leader until somebody that is more tangible and liked by the population could be brought in, because I think they're basically just set up to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's very little opportunity. When the election comes, there's basically no chance they're going to win. I mean, we don't know anything for sure till it happens, right? But
I have a crystal ball and I know the answer.
well, would you just get that out and let us know then?
I'm not actually allowed to let you know because unfortunately that's not how it works. If I tell you, it's broken now.
Well, that sounds like some BS.
I'm good at that too.
Right. So Mark Carney seems like a old rich white dude.
was recently on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart,
He was. I watched that this morning.
former Bank of Canada. Was it president or governor? What do they call it?
Was he the governor? I think they call it the governor.
Yeah,
They call it the governor.
yeah. Basically in charge of printing the money.
Yes, printing the money and devaluing that which the rest of us have earned.
What a great guy. Thank you for that.
And he worked. He did something in the UK during Brexit. I think when they were trying to clean up their mess over there, he somehow helped them, I guess. So I guess his claim is he knows economics, and so he can fix all the financial issues that Canada is facing.
I'm not convinced that he wasn't underwriting a lot of the policy that they already put in place, and the Liberal Party as a whole is just a conglomerate of ideas, and everyone that supported Justin Trudeau in this party would again follow suit on the same agenda.
Well, I mean, if you listen to Polyev, he'll tell you that carbon tax Carney was making basically all of their financial policy.
You might be right.
He could be.
It would be great to just keep on trucking down this road to a dilapidated country, I think.
So do you think that he's going to want to get in there and get his ass handed to him?
Carney?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll actually put in a bid for leadership of the Liberal Party?
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Or maybe wait till later?
realistically, whoever the next leader is, they're going to arrive and receive an epic beatdown, most likely.
That's a good question. He might be too clever for that. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he does run and truly believe in his ego and not read the landscape of how people are sick of such terrible policies, economic policies that the Liberal government has put on us Canadians.
Is it that they don't read the landscape, or they just don't care what people
They're
really think?
egotistical. Did you see the resignation?
You mean our last
of
episode?
Justin Trudeau, yeah.
I did see that.
And did you see the last episode? Yeah, go back and watch it if you haven't already.
Yeah, we need like 6 or 7 more views at least.
So, Justin Trudeau's first thing out of his mouth wasn't, I care about Canadians and how they are suffering in these times or whatever. It was basically the environmental issues that he's so proud of. Like, we just watched a video recently of the carbon tax, and this guy is proud of taxing the shit out of Canadians to the point where that's his ego. His ego is attached to this environmental policy thing, and he doesn't care about Canadians. And I feel every one of these politicians is going to basically be the same team. Same team agenda, you know? I don't think that these no-nonsense conservatives or whatever they're calling themselves are necessarily not also similar in the sense that they will have their own agenda that they want as a party.
They'll have some nonsense.
Yeah, but in general, it sounds like the stories and policies that they are promoting are resonating with Canadians a hell of a lot more, and it seems at this point that they are probably listening.
All right, so Carney then, probably more of same of what we've had. Maybe a little bit less on the
Freeland for sure would be.
the climate stuff. Well, Freeland, do you think that she's going to have won herself any points by kicking Trudeau in the nuts on her way out the door?
She might use that to her advantage, I think. Actually, that could maybe work a little bit. She by doing so, it might have separated her a little bit from the current government, so she could kind of say she's different.
It boosted her a bit. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I think if she was leader, they would lose a little less badly than with Justin Trudeau. It would be a complete whooping.
Yeah. So, do you think that then the Liberal Party would be willing to basically just give the new leader a pass to be like, yeah, you're going to get killed on this first one, and we care more about the next one, or what do you think they actually believe that they should win, and they're going to hold it against the new leader if they don't come away with a win?
there's definitely those people in politics that do not know how to listen to the people they represent, and they just go about their agendas. But there's a good portion of people like that, I do believe, in this current party, because they've been in power for so long. They might have some sense of entitlement. I don't know to what extent they would give her a pass this election, but I'd say as a party, you kind of have to, because it's like written on the wall at this point, right? So maybe.
Again, it's a few months away. You know, things can change.
We don't really know. It's more than a few months away,
but
unless we get an actual election.
The way it looks right now, they're going to come away. They're not going to win. They're probably not going to win by lots. So yeah. So realistically, you know, they should choose their leader, accepting that leader is going to take a loss, and they should look to the future. And if really they want to do the right thing for Canada, which I understand I'm asking a lot here, they need to move that party back towards the center of the political spectrum.
The radical center, as Jean Chrétien recently said. I don't even know what that means, even though I read the entire article on CTV.
Radical center.
That is what they stated. I don't know what that means. Radical, to me, usually means a little bit more on the extreme side of the political spectrum.
Well, if you're watching this and you have any idea what radical center is, you know, put it in the comments down below. Just let us know, because that's an interesting term, the radical center.
I mean, it usually a party gets in power for a while and then moves further towards the political spectrum that they usually lean, and then they get out of contact with the everyday Canadian, and then the other party does, and then they get in power, right? And then that's why you have a back and forth of liberal to a conservative governments in most of these
The pendulum
jurisdictions.
swings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the other guy's turn again, and they'll do a bunch of stuff, and hopefully we like it or not. I don't know what to expect.
As people like to say, you know, a Canadian federal government gets about 10 years. They get 10 years or so to do their thing before everyone is sick of them, and they boot them out and pick a new one. So, you know, Trudeau's had his 9 and a bit, I guess. And it's time to boot him out and pick another one. So I guess we'll see what leader they decide to bring in for us to hoof out the door. And we'll go from there, and they'll go from there, and we'll see what the future holds on that.
So basically those two, and will we have a wild card or a surprise? I really can't think of anybody.
They've been bringing up a whole bunch of names, but I think those are really the big two. And I fully expect it to be one of them. Granted, neither of them have. I don't think either of them have announced they're running yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Well, stay tuned. We'll talk about it when we know who the candidates really are, and the party actually has all their candidates, and then we can criticize the hell out of those people too.
Yep, we will.
My favorite thing.
But
judging those others.
Looking more to the present and what the Trudeau government
You guys got me a present?
is working with now. No, we did not get you a present. Do you want a cookie?
I had one, and I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
They were delicious. Thank you to the baker.
So, you know. Anyways, yeah. So more to the present, the Trudeau government is dealing with the threat of tariffs that I'm sure we're all quite familiar with at this point.
Some in our Canadian provinces are threatening some back.
Some are threatening some back. Some are threatening, to cut things off, which is probably not a great idea.
It's never a great idea to cut things off like that.
That's how you teach people they don't need you. But I think there could be export taxes thrown around as a discussion as well. So, with that in mind, I think we've all heard the numbers at this point: 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico that are brought into the U.S. And I talked a little bit last week on, how that plays out and who actually pays those. So people are being sure that they understand how it works. But
and 10% on China.
10% on China. Yeah. Can't forget about China.
So my question to you guys,
Yeah.
because I had a hard time understanding this.
That's okay.
Sure.
What are
We are all knowing, and you can ask us the questions. We have the answers.
I do not know most
Go ahead,
things.
Michael. Most people love your questions. I am waiting to hear it.
I'm glad.
If you would just
If
shut
I don't
up,
even know the answer, I'll BS it for you.
if you just shut your mouth, he might be able to ask the question.
Actually, remember it. What are tariffs? Like, what will you see that on?
Well, luckily Casper has arrived into the room to help
Oh, he
us
sure
answer
has.
this. No, he doesn't like
Oh,
that
he's
question.
out.
He turned around and he has left.
Here, tariffs, and he's left the room.
Yeah.
But what is it? So,
What is a tariff?
what would you see that on?
Take
that makes
this away,
sense.
Adam.
What would you see it on?
Yeah, like what would
It's like a
anything
it's
that's
like a tax.
imported into the states, right?
Right,
Like
yeah.
from here.
So the basically the idea is, I guess the U.S. say they don't like that they're importing a certain product from another country.
They tariff steel, I believe, last time.
And softwood, that's been
Yeah.
bickered about for years. So basically the idea is, I guess they want to produce that product in the United States and have, create American jobs for producing the product, sell it to American people. They don't want it to be purchased from another country. So in order to encourage that, instead of banning the product coming into their country from Canada or Mexico or wherever, they'll put a tariff on it, which will have to be paid by whoever imports that product into the U.S. And it's paid, as far as I understand, it's basically paid to the federal government. So if you're an American and you want to buy, I don't know, say a particular couch that can't be made in the U.S., it comes from Mexico or something. You'd go to, say, a furniture store somewhere in the U.S. and if they're selling that product, they would have an importer or whatever who would have imported that product from Mexico into the U.S. When they brought it in as a product from the other country, they would have paid that tariff on it. So if you say when they bought it from the manufacturer, say they paid $100 for it, it's a couch, they obviously paid more, but we're just throwing numbers out here. Instead of paying $100, they're going to pay $100 plus 25% of that. So in this case, $125, right? And then that extra money would go to the federal government. So it's just basically another way for the federal government to get money. And obviously, that furniture store, they're not going to eat the loss of that $25. So they're just going to raise the price of the product when they sell it to you by that amount. So ultimately, whatever anyone might tell you, it is the consumer that buys the product at the end of the day that will eat the cost of anything like that.
I mean, ideally, it is to encourage the supply, or rather, the demand on the product from that country that they're tariffing to go down.
Yes, that's the TLDR of what I just said.
I'm being concise. What can I say? I usually use a lot of words to say very little. But anyways,
I mean, that is true.
He's going to trademark that.
yeah. How do you think the end user or consumer or whatever ends up paying for a product? Do you think it actually has an effect, or do you think it might just inflate overall pricing for all items?
You see, that's a really good question, and I don't really know exactly how this works, because obviously when you're talking on something the scale of the economy or imports into a country, there's some very smart people that calculate all that stuff, and we're sitting here trying to sort of figure it out ourselves. But the direct impact, like, is everything going to be exactly 25% more? It's hard to say. I don't know exactly how that math plays out.
Well, either way, it's not great. I mean, we discussed having free trade between these countries, and
Free-ish.
Yeah, free-ish. It doesn't end up being that great, right?
Yeah, because there's too many personal interests at play, right? And too many millionaires trying to become billionaires, or billionaires trying to become more billionaires.
Casper, are you a millionaire? He doesn't know.
Silence.
Probably if I put him on Instagram, I'd be a millionaire, right?
You would be.
Yeah.
People would love him.
Oh, well, the thing is, we don't need this. We need better trade discussions with our leadership, and we're not going to get that. We're going to be suffering until when? October?
At the latest, October, yeah.
Until there'll be an actual election, and that means we'll have several months of an American president and administration probably tariffing us. Like, who is actually going over there and working against us on behalf of Canadians? Justin Trudeau?
Well, and
He's still prime minister until such a time that we do have an election, and or at least they have an election in the Liberal Party and select a new prime minister.
But the question is, how seriously will anyone in his government be taken at this point? Because everybody knows they're done. Everybody knows they're on the way out. He said he's going to resign, right? Like, anything they say, I feel like Trump's just going to throw it back in their face. He's not going to take it seriously. You guys are gone anyways.
He wouldn't be wrong.
I mean, it's true.
You're not going to listen to somebody who's not in charge in 10 months.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Just like, stop wasting my time. Come back to me at the end of the year when you guys actually figure your shit out.
So it would be better if they just, got out of the way, let us have our election, choose our new government so that they can start dealing with this situation. But the average politician is too selfish to think about the country they claim that they spend all their time thinking about. Well, they, help themselves to a lot of taxpayer money. So here we are.
So we'll be getting back to you in October when we actually find out if our government is productive, or at least slightly productive.
I thought there was something happening in March. What's happening then?
I mean, it's possible. I think the election could happen in May.
Is it May? I can't remember. Sorry.
Or May or June. I think my prediction the last episode was June. But when Parliament comes back on, I want to say it's May 24th?
I don't remember the date.
March 24th.
But they will reconvene Parliament.
No,
Parliament,
it's March when they're coming back, not May. Sorry about that. So anyways, there's a few options. Whoever is the prime minister at the time could basically just say, yeah, we're done here. We know an election's coming, and I don't want to take your confidence vote in the face, so I'm just going to call an election right now. Mm-hmm. Then we could have one in May, depending on the length of the campaign that they choose to have. They could wait and see, if they face a vote of non-confidence, which would probably happen almost right away. And then if, all the leaders of those parties, looking at you, Jagmeet, come through on what they say, then the government would fall and an election would have to be called. Or certain NDP leaders could flip-flop again, and then they could continue supporting this government, and we could be stuck with them till October, as Josh indicated.
That's the time I decided.
He decided it, and he's decided because he's going like this.
He's doing the Mr. Burns thing, kind of.
Like
he was.
This. He's doing this because he's like, I shall rule all. Whatever he's thinking when he does that over there.
Exactly. Yeah, Casper, what are you thinking here? He's thinking, I'm going to interfere into the show.
I think he's here to adjust your camera for you.
Yeah, we'll get him a microphone, but you guys heard him last show.
We saw the top
protesting to the subject. Now he's back.
He wants to voice his opinions of Canadian politics.
He is here to voice his opinion. Look at that face. Hello, Casper. Blazing Saddles.
Nope.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't say. Never mind.
Yeah, no, don't.
Don't pull. What's his name here? Did you hear the little blunder that the president made?
What are we talking about?
So, as you know, the LA forest fires are currently happening, and
forest fires.
Yeah, it's
absolutely devastating what's happening to them down in California.
Very unfortunate. Yes.
And the president and Kamala had a press conference about it, and one thing, I guess it was her turn to speak, and the president, Mr. Biden, there was like, "All right, Kamala, fire away," and then
Oh.
was like, "No pun intended."
Nope, that's not
Like I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
not good timing.
No.
Maybe that's another case of not reading the room correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. But down in California, I don't know all the different what do you call it now? Divisions, I guess, of the state or of the city. But like, there's the Palisades, there's Pasadena, there's I think I know called Pasadena or something as well.
It's a big city.
It's a huge place,
lots
but
of parts,
it's mostly on fire right now.
Yeah, a lot of it is on fire. It's very unfortunate. I think we've all been watching with a little bit of disbelief.
Yeah.
Not me.
The series. Oh, okay, not
They've,
Josh.
they've had
because
fire for a long time.
He's got his crystal ball, so he knew.
That's
this.
right. I
Yeah,
knew.
Well,
right.
if you read into it, you would see that a lot of the people who live out there, I think State Farm dropped a lot of people's insurance.
So
back in
somebody, their
September.
crystal ball told them there would be fires.
Yeah, I mean, even though you know it's an issue. I mean, if you go further north into BC, was a lot of fires going on there the last couple of years too.
Yeah.
And that's still along the west coast. So, but I mean, just seeing the level of devastation, in spite of the fact that you might realize that they're right smack in the middle of an area where that's a thing, it's still, it's a little bit breathtaking to see devastation on that level.
Yeah, like they haven't had water there apparently for like 8 months. Like they haven't had any rain for 8 months. So everything is as dry can get.
I think the big problem is the Santa Ana winds are just
That's making it so much
spreading
worse.
that fire.
Oh yeah, the wind is definitely blowing in the wrong
Like
direction.
hurricane force winds are just blowing it everywhere.
Yeah, it usually blows it the opposite direction, away from the cities.
Yeah, now it's blowing it into the cities, and like it's still going as far as I know. I don't even know how much they have contained at this point.
I don't understand why, with such a huge population the size of like our country, basically, they didn't have any system in place to get water to that place. It's like it's been decades and decades of water struggles in California.
Well, listen, we're not the only ones who are guilty of governments who sit around and underfund things and bicker in the back rooms and don't solve real problems until it's too late.
Yeah.
Obviously, that happens everywhere. So it's not totally beyond the realms of possibility that there could be some of that has led to this tragedy being maybe worse than it needed to be. But I mean, it's sometimes Mother Nature just wins.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, but I'm just saying there is a constant problem, and it's been ignored. Like the deforestation methods that they could have used to clear the forests, rather than actually fight against forest, like have fire prevention, they just paid for fire fighters instead.
Yeah, and I think that here in Canada we should be watching this because we're guilty of not properly managing our forests as well, and we've already had some really bad fires. And something like this, it's not impossible that we could see this happen here. I know, Casper. Yes,
Yeah. It's really
it would
bad.
be bad for the rest of the show. It's Casper protesting to the fact that he doesn't get to be on screen.
Yes, that's all it is. He's upset. But like I was saying, they have inmates now from I think one of the prisons that are helping out there fight these fires. They're paying them. I think the max I saw was like $10 and some cents a day to do this.
I read about this as well. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently this is not a new thing.
Nope.
California has been doing this for years, using inmates for this kind of labor. So, I mean, I guess it's good that they're paying them, but
A lot of people were saying that they shouldn't, like, if they're paying them, maybe reduce time off their sentence. I mean, I guess it also depends what they did, but like, how do you guys feel about that? I don't know.
I don't know. We're talking about criminals, so I guess I'm going to struggle to empathize too much
enough.
with them not being paid a decent wage. But
Fair.
I mean, I guess there's. I don't know exactly what tasks they're doing. I suppose there's some danger to what they're doing, but if you've committed some crimes and you have to do some work to stop fire from burning things down, I don't personally have any major objection to it.
And like,
Are they being forced or is it voluntary? Like,
I don't actually know that.
Exactly.
It's a good question too. I don't.
If it's voluntary, then whatever. I'd probably do it.
After he committed all his crimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell anybody.
Oh, I just did. Our 3 viewers know now.
In regards to these fires as well, they were saying that maybe arson might be behind it all.
I read that was ruled out.
It was ruled out because they arrested somebody. I saw.
Did they?
I thought I had seen that.
I saw the Hollywood sign burned down too, but apparently that wasn't real.
Fake news.
That was definitely fake news.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. You don't know how much of this is actually true with the amount of AI generated videos
Thanks,
that we're
AI.
seeing. Yeah, that's pretty amazing actually. But the point is, hey, we have a poor state there that everybody's trying to fight those fires, and natural disasters is a thing of life. We have to consider it heavily because, like you said, Mother Nature always wins.
Mm-hmm.
And
in the end,
we as human beings can think ahead and make very good plans. We're not exactly dumb. It's just when we collectively vote in parties that mismanage, then we show how dumb we really are. We need experienced people who know the issues in particular areas to explain it to the public so that hopefully they can influence the voting patterns of people. I mean, they do that when they yell climate change for everything, despite the fact that they don't always actually prove the climate change every single time. It's now just a chant. It's a religious chant that people will say and just blame it on something. But the thing is, there's people out there that can actually provide us empirical data, prove things, and I really wish that people would listen to the smarter people that actually can prove things, and our elected officials, I wish, were some of those people that actually knew how to listen. But no, they don't. They listen to the people who vote for them because they're the ones with the ultimate power in the end, right?
I mean, that's not to say that this fire was caused by people's voting choices. I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
Well, no, I'm telling you, since the 80s at least, they've had water problems supplying water to drinking water to them, and specifically supplying water to the country, or the state, I should say, for firefighting methods. The country, that area is drying up and becoming more of a desert land. Rather than diverting water from Canada and glacier melt that they possibly could, they just decide not to because they would rather be concerned about the environmental effects it has on wildlife.
Well, a lot of those areas were deserts before they ever decided to build homes there. The area is not necessarily becoming a desert. It was a desert and has always been one.
And no, you're wrong. It's hundreds of years ago, the middle of California was an entire lake. And portions of that, I forget which lake it is, but have shrunk down completely. If you actually look up the history of the Napa Valley has rich, fertile soil because it was a lake.
That lake was pumped out, though.
Yeah, exactly. Case in point. You're just making my point. There was water there that they moved for fertile soil that they could have had in place for fire measures.
I mean, you're talking about California as a whole.
Exactly. Those are decisions.
There are also portions of it that were not a lake.
Well, yeah.
That were desert.
Yeah, no,
and they still decided to build homes there.
That is true. But I'm saying if you have more water in an area, water management is a terrible thing here across North America. If you've studied environmental science,
we're very guilty of that.
We've moved so much of our wetlands and other water sources to the point where we just don't manage it properly. We need to have water every so often by the density of the population to be there, just for these measures and for to lessen the environmental effects that we have. And unfortunately, these decisions around farming and agriculture and around increasing the tax base and population density have all affected us, and we know how big those cities are in California and how dense they are. These are all compounding measures that have led to having worse conditions. Like the deforestation in the design of the cities plays a huge role in the wind patterns. People don't realize, and the urban heat map that causes problems to the environment. You got to actually plan nature into your designs, and these are all decisions that were made that unfortunately compound the problem and create Mother Nature to be a bigger beast than she needed to be.
And you build all these structures all nice and densely together, and along comes some fire and some wind, and yeah, it spreads really easily.
Yeah.
You don't have any water to do anything about it, so it's unfortunate that better decisions weren't made. But I guess now looking at this is an opportunity
For BlackRock
make some better choices going forward.
to buy up a bunch of land with all their money.
I'm sure that will happen too, especially for all those people who got screwed by not having home insurance.
Yeah.
Now, going back to that, as you mentioned about the home insurance, what are your guys' opinions in regards to all the celebrities that have lost their houses? Now, it's devastating, don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of controversy out there because all these celebrities are coming out going, oh my goodness, I lost my summer house, or I lost my 2 houses, and they have the money to just go ahead and build again, no problem. But everybody else that was there that doesn't have the insurance, where they can get their help from?
The federal government in the U.S. has stated that they would help them.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the rich people. They'll probably help them too, but
They will help them too.
yeah, obviously, I don't have sympathy for the people that are extremely well off. I'll put it that way.
Especially if they're losing their like oh, my second home, my 4th home, like my
Right.
10th home. Like, yeah, it sucks. It's unfortunate. I don't wish it upon you, but
Absolutely
you're
not.
like, you have way more money than you need.
Yeah.
And you have too many homes.
You can probably rebuild California yourself.
So I mean, I'm not thrilled that you've lost a home, but I'm a lot more concerned about the people who are not celebrities, are not wealthy.
Insurance is a bitch. We know that certain things are just sometimes not covered or they're removed from coverage, and you have to pay attention to that.
Yep.
Talk about overland flooding here in
another
Manitoba.
one.
It's always a problem.
Yeah, like some places that just don't even have the proper coverage for that. So if you're in an area where water is going to flow, you may not be covered for that damage. So
I can't get overland flooding insurance where I live.
exactly.
Not that it's
crazy,
the area doesn't tend to flood when the floods happen, but if it happens, it's a problem. Some of the areas that burned were more like working class people, and like a lot of them just no home insurance. Like these are not the kind of people that are.
Oh yeah, they'll be bought out by the billionaires.
Yeah, they're probably gonna just have to sell their land.
I would like to see how much BlackRock buys of this and turns into whatever their plans are. I'm certain they have some on the go right now.
I don't know. You ask them and let us know.
They will let us know. Me specifically.
They'll call you first.
They will. They usually ask for my ideas, and I develop a design. I forgot to keep charging for it. That was dumb.
Yes.
That was silly.
I know. It's only like one of the biggest companies in the world, bigger than a lot of countries.
And you just decided to give them your ideas for free.
Just like I do that with my advice and opinions on YouTube, and then you follow and subscribe to listen to it here.
Yes. And I think that's about all we have to say this week. Unless one of you wants to squeak something else in.
Well, Casper does. And he is saying goodbye. Goodbye to all of you.
Yep. Until next week, Casper says goodbye. And so do we.
Have a good week, guys. See you next week.